Welcome back to my garden. Thankfully the clouds are out right now because earlier when I was working on this, as you probably saw in that opening montage, it was quite hot. That sun was a little brutal. And if you see me randomly slapping like a lunatic here on camera, it's just because the deer flies are out in force. And right now they're quite happy. They don't like the bright sun, so they try to stay out of it, but they do love cloudy, overcast, and they love cool. And right now with the sun being behind clouds, it has cooled off quite a bit. Enough about the weather and all that shenanigans. What I've got here is a new section of the bed that I created last year. This is an outside border to the flower garden. For those of you not in the know, new to the channel, my flower garden is 60 feet across by approximately 90 feet. I say approximately because one end is sort of angled. Let's say 90 feet. Over the last few years, I've been creating the borders, and I finally finished last year so far as the structure was concerned. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough plants, energy, material to finish out creating the beds, as it were. So it didn't get done last year, but this year, damn flies. But this year, I started opening up the beds some more as I accumulated more plants, and I have some compost and other stuff which we'll talk about here in a moment. So recently over here, I planted up some bear's britches, sweet William, and a cup plant, and also hardy banana. That was fun. And I did that in another video, so if you want, you can go back and watch that video. And as you can see here today, I opened up another section here, and I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I'm going to do something somewhat different and unique. And I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. One of them is I have too many plants of what we're going to plant today. And the other reason being is that I do want to fill out these beds. I don't think we're going to get down to the end this year, but if I can get another section done and completed, I'd be pretty happy. And so enough of that. What am I planting today? I'm planting basil. That's right, the stuff you eat. Here's Genovese basil, and here is dark opal basil. Yes, dark opal basil. As you can see, the dark opal has purplish leaves. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it puts on a whitish purplish flower, and the Genovese basil puts on a white flower. I do grow basil to eat over in the veg garden, and I can eat both these varieties if I so wish and desire before they go to flower. After they go to flower, they start tasting funny. But I'm planting these today for decorative purposes, and also because the bees absolutely love the flowers. I don't know what it is, but they just absolutely love them. So today, we're gonna plant both these up. Now, I have more than 2 plants, so let me show you what we're gonna do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a pattern. Yeah, it does sound weird, but here's my thinking, and see if you can follow along. So I'm gonna do a Genovese, dark opal, and a Genovese. And then what I'm gonna do, and yes, I'm leaving room from the back of the border because I am going to be planting a shrubbery back here, and I'll talk more about that later on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a Genovese here, and a dark opal, and a dark opal. And then we're going to repeat this pattern. If you notice, this is sort of a checkerboard, so I have light, dark, dark, light. So it's going to be sort of a checkerboard pattern in here. So what do you think? Checkerboard pattern of 2 different types of basil. I've never seen anybody do anything like this before. This is very weird.
That's weird, man.
Odd and unusual, but I think this is what we're gonna do. This way I get rid of a lot of the basil that I had grown from seed and gives me something to fill this space with. And it might turn out really cool. I'm not sure. But theoretically, both these plants get to about 2 to 3 feet tall, and they put on their little flowery spikes, which I can get to like 3.5 feet tall when they grow to full height at the end of the season. This is what I'm thinking. If you guys have done anything like this before or have any thoughts about this, using basil as a decorative plant, let me know in the comments below. But in the meantime, I'm going to start planting. Well, there we go. I have 12 basil plants planted out. Hopefully when they grow to full size, they all get big and bushy and they just look incredible. And hopefully you can see the checkerboard pattern. I don't think anybody really has ever done this before with basil, not that I've seen. It's probably because it's weird. You're not going to see a crisp checkerboard pattern, but if you look at it, you may notice the differences in the plants and maybe even the flowers. I don't know. It was just, I was looking at the potting bench and I saw I had all these extra plants and I thought to myself, why not? It'll give me something to fill up this space with and it'll be something different and unique. So here it is. Now along the back side, and I'm not going to bore you with this today because it's quite boring, I think. Unless you guys want to see this kind of stuff in the future, you got to let me know what you want to see. But what I'm going to do is I've received 12 native Yupon shrubs. This right here, hopefully the camera focuses there, is a native Yupon. I think that's how you pronounce it, Yupon. This little shrub will allegedly grow up to 15 feet tall if I let it. And I think 15 feet wide or so. But that's not what I'm going to do with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plant it all along the back row of the border here. And it will become a hedge that will divide the flower garden from the next garden space. I wanted a physical barrier. It also helps with the winds that roll through because sometimes, well, during the winter time we get winds from the north. Summertime we get a lot of wind from the south. And this year has been particularly windy. So my hope is that over time, and I've been saying this for years, but my hope is over time, I can get enough hedging growing up, whether it's the sprinters over by the driveway side or the Yupon over here on the flower bed side, that eventually will help to not stop the wind, but diminish it so that many plants can then thrive. Also to provide a little bit of shade, especially on the driveway side for certain types of plants which like cooler roots, like for instance sweet peas. I love growing sweet pea, but it's difficult down here in growing zone 8A. We're in A now. Still not used to that. But sweet pea like cool roots. And it's difficult because I don't have that much shade around here. So theoretically, if I could get my sprinter boxwoods in 5 years time up to that 4-foot mark that I want them at, theoretically I can then plant sprinter boxwoods up close against them. It would provide some shade at the base of the plant, which would be fabulous for the plant and would be fabulous for me because I love sweet peas. Either way, I'm getting off topic here. Yupon, that's what I'm going to try to grow in the back over here. So I'm just going to pop in like, I don't know how many. I think I have to space them about 7 feet apart. It's just going to be me digging holes and popping these in. So I'm not going to bore you guys with that. According to the YouTube analytics, most of you aren't even watching anymore. So it's okay. Leave a comment if you're still watching. So I think that's going to wrap it up for today. I planted a bunch of basil to try to create a little bit of a decorative feature. Let's call it that, decorative feature. It is weird. It's something that I'm looking forward to seeing how it comes to fruition. I still have to water that in and pull back all that mulch you see me did in the beginning of the video where I pulled it all back. After I water, I'll pull all that mulch back over the top. If you guys have any questions, comments, etc., you know where to leave them. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Click that bell icon to be notified when I do post up a new video. And I think that's going to wrap it up for today. Please check out all those links below. You guys know the drill. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.